of this Senate, and we have cause again to rejoice that at least our humble efforts have been duly recognized. That is the essence of the personal explanation, Mr. President. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I think he came under 43, so it doesn't require any debate. Just to congratulate the Nigerian government and the people of Nigeria for the progress we've made in this sector. As of last year, I think we're under about 25 steps. So I believe that, as it did say, it means that the synergy between the federal government and the National Assembly seems to be working. And we need to encourage further cooperation between these arms of government. After all, we are serving the same people. So I believe that going forward, whatever we are doing that we are doing correctly, we need to keep doing that in Nigeria. And I do hope that this will translate into more foreign investment coming to Nigeria. So once more, congratulations to the people of Nigeria. And I want to thank Nala for bringing up this. All right, Senior Leader. Sorry, just one brief announcement. We have in our midst staff of the Assistant College, Kaduna. On behalf of this, I would like to...
Very distinguished colleagues, the first business of the day is the presentation of the reports of the Committee on Finance in respect of A. Companies Income Tax Act, CAP, and Transparency Bill 2017. Mr. President, you may wish to invite Senator John Eno, Chairman of the Committee, to move the motion for the Senate to receive the report.
Senator John Eno.
Mr. President, the Companies Income Tax Act, CAP, C21 LFN 2004 Amendment Bill 2007, and B, the Tax Incentive Management and Transparency Bill.
Yes. Mr. President, I have the right to second the motion moved by my able brother, Senator Eno. Mr. President, I also second. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Dear colleagues, those support our motion, say aye. Those against. Sir Leader.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the second business of the day is the presentation of the report of the Committee on Local and Foreign Debt on the approval of Ogun State Development Policy Operation Loan of USD 350 million from the World Bank. Mr. President, we wish to invite Senator Shehu Sani, Chairman of the Committee, to move the motion for the Senate to receive the report.
Comrade Senator Shehu Sani.
I stand as Comrade Senator Shehu Sani, representing Kaduna Central. I rise to the report on the Ogun State Development Policy of
Senator Gumel.
I represent the governors of Jigawa State. I rise to second that the Senate do receive the report of the
Sani may proceed to lay the report.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, the first of the Northeast Development, Njuma Goja, as we know, is brief, and therefore I will take the motion in its place. Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, this motion is sponsored senators representing the northeastern states, and of course, many more senators from various parts of the country other than the Northeast. The assent of the Northeast Development Commission Bill. The Senate notes that the Northeast Development Commission Bill was passed by assent to the bill allocated by the federal government, construction of roads, houses and business premises of victims of insurgency, as well as tackling the menace of poverty and environmental challenges of the area. B, coordinate projects and programs within the master plan for the rehabilitation, resettlement, reconciliation, reconstruction, and sustainable development of the Northeast Zone in the fields of infrastructure, human and social services, including health and nutrition, education and water supply, agriculture, wealth creation and employment opportunities, urban and rural development and poverty alleviation. C, liaise with federal ministries, departments and agencies, states and development partners on the implementation of all measures approved in the master plan for the stabilization and development of the Northeast by the federal government of Nigeria, among others. D, assess and report on any project that has an agreement with the federal government and ensure that funds released for such projects are utilized. E, liaise with other stakeholders on the tackling of humanitarian, ecological and environmental problems and degradation that may arise from natural causes, insurgency and industrial activities in the Northeast Zone. Seek humanitarian, human, material, technical and financial support from development partners, local or international, and non-governmental organizations with a view to developing the Northeast. And F, coordinate civil-military confidence building and stabilization measures, and also activities that lie within the civil-military interface, especially before, during, and after military and security operations, and act as the focal point to coordinate and harmonize all other intervention programs and initiatives that the federal government is involved within the Northeast to address the widespread devastation inflicted on the zone by the activities of the Boko Haram insurgents, which has been around for the past 8 years. The Senate is aware also that the Commission will provide an institutional framework that will ensure transparency, accountability, and prudent management of funds that will build the confidence of donor agencies and foundations towards assisting and funding projects of the Commission. The Senate observes that the Commission will end the huge humanitarian crisis in the Northeast that no other committee or institution could have within the short and long terms. The Senate is convinced that an institution backed by law, the Commission will remain the biggest succor for people of the region that is adjudged to be one of the poorest regions even before the advent of the Boko Haram crisis, because their lives would be rebuilt through its activities. The Senate accordingly resolves to 1. Commend the Presidency and C for his assent to the Northeast Development Commission Bill and commitment to the plight of the Northeast region. 2. Commend the Senate President and the leadership of the Senate and distinguished senators for their support, which would see to the restoration of normal life in the Northeast. 3. Urge the federal donor agencies to continue to support the Northeast through the newly established commission. I so move, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. Senator Boacha.
Thank you, Mr. President. The distinguished President is
Order!
As a stakeholder in the issues raised. But let me, Mr. President, emphasize the backwardness of the Northeast region even before the Boko Haram insurgency, that it is a region that had begged for development for long. And it was quite timely, the emergence of the president, the sitting president, though not from the Northeast, but he has had cognate experience of Superintendent of Affairs of the Northeast have just added salt to injury. The situation of the Northeast can better be described by ways that are not yet available for now. So, Mr. President, I celebrate this motion as a co-sponsor and urge my colleagues to do the same. Having said this, let me very great support from all of us, not only from the Northeast, virtually all the senators in this chamber believe and appreciate what we are going through. The caution is we believe and trust God that those who will come on board to manage this commission will not, because this is a region of governance. And so,
Mr. President, my respected colleagues, unlike Wacha, I am a stakeholder from outside of the region. Senator James, a pure war manager, CON, Delta South. Mr. President, my respected colleagues, like I said, I am a stakeholder as a Nigerian from outside of the region, and not here for second reading. The debate was very exciting, and everybody, unanimously everybody supported this bill. And now that Mr. President has given his assent to this bill, it has become an act of parliament. And I think it's a very welcome, positive development, for which I am as excited for doing it expeditiously, and indeed the entire National Assembly. This bill, and this particular, and therefore, those who will finally come on board once appointed must be people who can manage the speedy development of that part of Nigeria. Mr. President, the other thing I want to say, that I am an Igbo-speaking South-South man. In the South-South, I know that some of my brothers and sisters also speak Igbo language. But there was the Southeast Development Bill that came to this Senate. And of course, it received almost 85% support of the senators. Mr. President, my respected colleagues, for over 1 year now, I have traveled parts of the Southeast. And for entry and exit of the Southeast have become increasingly difficult and painful. Only Monday, to enter Southeast from that region. I don't speak Igbo, but as a stakeholder from outside of the Southeast region, Mr. President, federal attention. Therefore, Southeast be worked upon expeditiously, just like the Northeast Development Bill that has been assented to by Mr. President. Because anything, I don't know where that bill is now. I'm sure it came here for second reading. We worked on it and we passed it for second reading. I don't know where that bill is now. If that bill is ready, bring it to the floor. Let us also pass that one. And Mr. President, from the moon.
All right, thank you. Senator Wakil.
Your Excellency, Mr. President, distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator Madam Ali Wakili, MNI. We are jealous of this MNI. I look forward. It's a great, I'll pay tribute to my former colleague, Senator Sekibo. If only brought out and to thank him on behalf of the constituents and those of us from the Northeast. Secondly, I need to thank Senator one that was more encompassing. He willingly agreed for us to consolidate the bill and present it to you people. Thirdly, I need to thank all of you here, sir, for your dexterity when there was a little bit of micronationalism between I and Senator Kaka and Senator did that one not because we thank you for aggregating it after some time. We'll ensure that the concept of this Northeast Development Commission is not derailed. We'll keep a tab on those of them to be appointed because we need empowerment. We need financial inclusiveness. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. My name is Rabi Musa Konkoso, representing Kano Central. Mr. President, I'm sure you Kano along the line while congratulating and also while thanking Mr. President for assenting this bill. Mr. President, I want to say that I hope that an appropriate so that those states are more insecurity in the Northeast will also be included. Thank you, Mr. President.
Ben Murray Bruce, representing by Plain. So the difficult, they have been a monumental failure. And I say so, and I want to choose my words very carefully. In Bayelsa East, we had a 90% failure rate, and I will publish it. When myself, when we set up this commission, it makes me wonder, even though I voted for this bill, it makes me wonder whether maybe the money, forgive me, please forgive me, because the experience I have had has been so bad, in the South. I begin to wonder funds to look after the area. Okay, all right. If that is the case, wait. If that is the case, please, if that is the case, Mr. President, I suggest, as we set up this commission, you ask that we build a very big prison. Prison for committing my microphone was switched off on purpose. It has passed into law. We agree. But if 50% of the budget is spent on overhead, then we defeat the purpose for which it was set up. We have a very bad experience in the South. The Southeast needs the bill. The Northeast has got those who are suffering, who need help, and who they intend to look after and to enrich themselves. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President, I stand as Comrade Senator Shehu Sani. It's a trigger to most important and human degradation that has been will actually be out there. The commission is going to be established of the commission in the future. There is no doubt about it. Nigerians are unanimous in the very sense that the crisis and violence in the Northeast threatens the peace, the unity, and stability of this country. And it is also a fact that all parts of Nigeria needs development, but in the making. A hill has been done today will not serve this generation, but
thank you, Mr. President, to congratulate the people of Northeast region and to congratulate you. But let me say it's not the way to go about it. Go solve the problem, everything that will take the necessary money. And my second reason was they must be included. So in the wise of chopped out, and we have no misgivings because what we did in good faith, and what the people did also, I believe they did it in their own thinking. So I want to congratulate them and join other colleagues in calling on them to focus on the problems for which the commission, like what other people said, every part of Nigeria requires development. And some of my colleagues talked about the Southeast Commission. We heard about the Lagos problem. We know there's some development. In my meaning that they are not to us alone, but it's more prevalent today. Every blessed day, somebody or some people are killed in Zamfara State. And because we don't make too much noise, it is more like it's being swept under the carpet. Today, as I'm talking to you, Mr. President, from that time to this 4 soldiers were killed. That is not to talk about the civilian people that are being killed on a daily basis. As a result, Mr. President, today as I'm talking to you, most part of these actors that I mentioned, neither, who are manufacturing weapons every day, and youth, all our youth today are bearing arms, very, very dangerous arms. So I'm calling on this chamber to also, or not to lose sight of this problem, so that we're in solving this problem. Yes, for Northwest, because everybody is a senator representing a particular zone before the other zones, but I do mention that I know there are these problems from different parts of my country. We receive a bill from Northeast, we receive one from for Lagos and everything. So we are suffering inside. It would also be looked into and appropriate solutions provided on it. I thank you, Mr. President.
Please, if we keep our contributions simple and straight, I'm sure more people will be able to.
President, very distinguished colleagues, my name is Senator Sam Aliawu. I represent Imo East in Imo State. I want to bring our relations from the Southeast to our people, our brothers from the Northeast. I want to confine myself with this motion. I wouldn't want to speak outside this motion, Mr. President. I just want to say, congratulate all of us in this Senate. We have shown truly and indeed war united nation, war united Nigeria. And I want to say the cry of the people from the Northeast was heard by the people from the Southeast. That was why we supported this bill. I want to say a very big congratulations when it comes to other zones that we should also do justice in such situation. I want to say a very big congratulations.
This bill. And then to commend major contribution to the development of the Northeast, the humanitarian crisis in the Northeast effect. They've done extremely well, and we're indeed very proud. Also meeting the aspirations of what to the North direction to continue to show Nigerians that we're indeed mindful of the concerns and problems of Nigerians will be a thing of the past. The eyes have it. Prayer 2, commend the Senate President and the leadership of prayer. Say aye. Those against the
President, leadership of the Senate, and this will see the restoration of normal life in the Northeast. I so move.
Is it so?
I second the amendment.
And the 6 senators of the 8th Senate, of this prayer, say aye. Those are the donor agencies to continue to support the Northeast through the newly established commission. In support of this, say aye. Those against saying the ayes.
That Kano.
So if you want, unless you want to have your own national, are you seconding his own? No.
Thank you. Final prayer by Barao. Because Kano and Plateau were included. But when the whole thing went to the committee, they removed it. And nobody said anything about it again, and we have problems. Even 2 weeks ago, killing is still going on in those places, and burning and damaging of places going on. So I strongly support.
Those who want the national prayer say aye, can say nay. The nays have it. Senate leader.
Mr. President, and make the announcement. The minority leader was here. Minority leader, I want to assure you that we have a space. And it's better you take what we have before we close our gate. Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, lying on order 1B, Mr. President, and in consultation of our order paper, second order and the order of the day, the senators will recall that the bill was read the first time in this chamber on Tuesday, 13th December 2016. Mr. President.
Mr. President, you must indulge me to at least just, even if I depend on Order 43 in terms of personal explanation, I actually started here to him that since he's not used to government, that I think he should come over to his side and then join us. Because all along, that the way I see you, you should actually be sitting on this side. Because you are used to being out of government from 1999. So, distinguished senator, it wasn't, if you don't agree with me, please don't twist it. Just leave it the way it is.
Okay, don't worry.
The distinguished senate leader decides to come to...
Anyway, before I invite, I'm sure going forward, I'm sure you all have opportunity.
Mr. President, my dear colleagues, I'm highly honored to have the privilege of leading. I'm Ali Eboboko by name, Principal of Several District of Ogun State. I'm honored to lead the debate on this bill from the Federal Polytechnic Employment in Ogun State. 2016, Mr. President, provisions for due management and administration. The establishment of this institution is informed who are annually stranded. The objective of this polytechnic shall be technology and applied science, commerce, and the area of industrial and agricultural production and distribution for research, the development and adoption of techniques that the Council may from time determine. B, to arrange conferences, seminars, and study groups relative to the field of learning as prescribed in paragraph A of this subsection 1 above. C, perform such other functions as in the opinion of council may provide, promote the objectives of the polytechnic. D, to encourage the advancement of learning and to hold out to all persons without distinction of education, as I could to benefit from them. F, to encourage and promote scholarship and the conduct of research in restricted fields of learning and human endeavor. D, relate its activities to social, cultural, and economic needs of the people of Nigeria. And the D, and H, to undertake such other activities appropriate for shares and request the polytechnic will is intended to midwife, helping manpower, development in the technology sector, which are germane to national growth and academic and research institutions. Audacious economy, further advanced knowledge to defense to a large extent in the nation. It is one of the indicators of measuring national growth or level of development of any nation, Mr. President. Developing an international reputation for excellence in the field of technology, the polytechnic, like its counterpart in other parts of the world, its vision is a multidisciplinary space. Mr. President, my dear colleagues, the enactment of this bill has been transforming the internal fortunes of Nigeria in producing the desired manpower and expertise that Nigeria is yearning for. It is there the comforting of financial to provide temporary structures. I therefore add all my
because of the following reasons. The first polytechnic we had in Sokoto was that of Neneke, which they called Waziri Polytechnic. But with the creation of Kebbi State, the Federal Polytechnic in Zamfara State. So this is a very ideal area. Number of people coming out of secondary school. Another field of studies, and to make provisions for the general administration of such polytechnic and for other related matters.
A bill for access on tertiary education to report back in 2 weeks. State leader.
Mr. President, very distinguished colleagues, etc. Bill 2017. Distinguished senators will recall that the bill was read the first time in this chamber on Thursday, the 17th of November 2016. Mr. President, we wish to invite very distinguished Senator Ali Abdullahi to move the motion for the bill to be read a second time.
Senator Abdullahi.
Niger North administration attainment of the noble goals and ministries, departments, and agencies. This administration is committed. It deals with any government to achieve any growth with the constant changes. Now, at the heart, how to properly manage tax. 3. Knowing with the following. 1. An organizational structure and the attainment of this lofty goal know that other Asian countries, especially their tax to GDP of fiscal corruption. A comparatively low tax to GDP ratio in most cases indicates the need to strengthen revenue-raising performance. Nigeria's current tax to GDP ratio of 6% is rated as one of the lowest in the world. The national delegation of powers of revenue, which train new